So with being here in the hills of Judea and Samaria, one of the aspects of Jews returning to the land is that this land has got to support them. And of course, when there's the BDS movement that's boycotting, divesting, and sanctioning Israel, and especially Israeli products from these regions, that creates an economic crisis for the people that live here. But my good friend Gedaliah Blum from Eli, he's undertaken a very aggressive and wonderful entrepreneurial idea to help the local residents of Judea and Samaria. So, Gedaliah, why don't you tell us about your project? I think you call it in English the Orange Pages, right?
Yeah, so it's the Orange Pages. It's a play off of the Yellow Pages. Orange signifying Judea and Samaria and Gaza at the time when there was a whole campaign to stop the disengagement. So in order for us, from a marketing perspective, how do you illustrate to people that there's a list of businesses from Judea and Samaria? So we call it the Orange Pages because, you know, it's like the Yellow Pages. I wanted to just go back to what you said about that the BDS is affecting the communities here economically.
Which it is, right?
No.
It's not.
It's not.
Well, that's a real turnabout.
No.
We hear it in the news all the time. BDS, stop BDS. You know, and we've got to rise up and counter this movement. So tell us what's really going on.
The dangers of BDS is not economically. While BDS is putting boycott stickers on our tomatoes, high-tech companies in Tel Aviv are raising a trillion, billions of dollars a
high-tech
month.
startups. You're right.
And that all flows down to also Judea and Samaria. There are some technology stuff going on. There are agricultural things going on. There have been stories of boycotting or product labeling from Europe has affected agriculture here in Judea and Samaria. That is for sure. And I'll give you one example. There's a farm who was about to harvest. They did harvest. They had all of their figs and all of their fruits, whatever, that was getting ready to get on a plane to go to Europe. And they said, cancel the order.
No.
And so you already harvested it. What happens?
Yeah.
It rots. It dies. You can't do anything with it at that point. They literally almost lost the farm on that deal. Because that was like the biggest thing. Now, fast forward, they said, we're not going to be reliant on the EU anymore. Open up new markets. We're going to find a different thing. They started planting different fruits. They started doing different things. Nothing worked. Did they quit? They didn't quit, of course. Somebody went to Morocco.
Morocco, an Arab country in North Africa. Wow.
And they took an argan tree from Morocco. Argan is an oil that is used in so many cosmetics around the world.
Yeah. And
it's an ingredient. And you can eat it. It has a lot of health things, but you can also put it in your shampoo.
Which they do.
And so Morocco is like the #1 place to get argan oil. It's known for argan oil. But of course, what happens?
Let me guess.
You bring in a tree and you plant it in the land of Israel, and it's blessed.
It grows.
They get 30% more the argan nuts on the trees in Israel than they do in Morocco.
Oh my goodness.
And it's in the Jordan Valley. So what happened? Like, wow, let's keep doing this. Because again, it was trial and error. They didn't know what they were going to do. Now they have all these farms of argan oil. They're creating argan oil, and now they sell to major shampoo labels. It's in the ingredients, argan oil. They're making a ton of money. There's more land now that they could actually
grow the argan trees on.
And the nuts don't die on the tree. They're like, BDS was such a blessing for them.
Wow, imagine that.
They would have still been picking dates off the trees, which is a good industry,
and
by
the
way.
figs, yeah.
But it's very volatile as well, because you're a farmer.
Yeah.
And so that's just one example of how not only we're talking about, again, we're sitting in front of this scorched earth right now, and there's a farmer wondering what he's going to do with his field. And I guarantee you something is going to become better from it. And this is the example. So BDS is a tactic in order to destroy Israel.
Yeah, we recognize that. It's very anti-Semitic.
It's not an economic weapon. They're using economics as the label for it. Listen, they tried to destroy us through wars.
Mm-hmm.
The War of Independence, the war, the 6 Day War, the Yom
Kippur,
Kippur War, the war in Lebanon, the 2 wars in Lebanon, the 2 wars in Gaza, the uprisings, the Intifadas, the rock Intifada, and then the shooting Intifada, and now they're trying to burn our fields, the arson, whatever it is. Do you know when BDS was born?
No, I had no idea.
BDS was born shortly after the end of the second Intifada.
Back in 2000.
Back in 2000. The Intifada was done. They went to Dubai for this, not to Dubai, they went to South Africa for this conference. What was it called? I forget what it's called. And
the anti-apartheid or something.
yeah, it was obviously an anti-Semitic, and they decided at that point they were going to launch the BDS movement because their ways of war and intifadas were not destroying Israel. We have to do something else. So let's all get behind something. So what did the BDS do? I'll give an example for your audience. We all hear more about BDS. They're growing strong. Look what they're doing. We have to fight back. If we don't stop them, they're going to keep growing, which they are in a way. But there's a famous Pew poll. There's a famous pollster, the Pew polls.
Oh, Pew poll. Yeah, right.
PEW.
Yeah.
That back in 2000, I want to say back in 2006, they surveyed people in America about their thoughts of Israel. And there was a 26% of the people surveyed had negative effects towards Israel.
Mm-hmm.
10 years later, in 2016, as BDS is growing big, that number went from 26 to 21%.
It dropped.
It dropped.
Amazing.
More. I'm not saying more people were pro-Israel, but less people were anti-Israel. Okay, so that goes to see, so what's really going on here? What I feel the greatest success of BDS is, it's not economically, they're not destroying Israel. They're not doing it. What they're doing is they're creating a banner for as a call to action for all the anti-Semites to walk under.
That's what it is. The people are against Israel, just to come under that, which that's very interesting.
It's a call to action. Before that, the anti-Semites around the world did not have a call to action. They were just waving the Fatah flag, they were waving the Hamas flag, they were waving the Iraqi flag, the Syrian flag, the Egyptian flag. Destroy Israel, destroy Israel, destroy Israel. But now the armies, there's no war.
Yeah.
Thank God there's no war right now.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not so politically correct to be backing Iran at this point, but secretly they're probably hoping Iran drops the bomb on Israel. And so that's how Dapei Katom, that's how the Orange Pages was born.
I see.
The birth of it was saying, you have a loud minority of people, and now you're marching under this banner of anti-Semitism. We have a silent majority. Why are we silent?
Yeah.
Why isn't there a call to action? Why isn't there a way for us to be able to support Israel on a day-to-day basis? And not even internationally. I'm talking about in Israel. So our Orange Page is actually right now only in Hebrew. We're just solidifying the base of people within Judea and Samaria, buy local. Outside of Judea and Samaria, buy local, buy in our heartland. From internationally, we're eventually going to start growing. Buy local in your soul.
Right.
It's always a buy local campaign.
Yeah. And that's really important economically. If the people who live in Judea and Samaria know what their other brothers are doing, a service or a product, buy local first rather than going to get it from Home Depot or something, right?
Yeah, and I have another confession to make. I don't care about the businesses. I'm promoting the businesses. I really don't care about them. Of course I care about them, and I care about their people, and I care about their business. But what I really care about is driving more money into their pockets so they can continue to invest in their business, hire more people,
sure,
grow their infrastructure. What does that mean for a local community to have more jobs, to have more infrastructure? What does that mean? The community is going to grow.
Sure. That's
why we're doing it. And that's why BDS is doing what they're doing. They want us to shrink. They want us to commute 2 hours to go to work because there's no work in Judea and Samaria.
Right.
They want us to commute to work. And they don't want people to say, oh, I'm going to move to Gush Etzion, I'm going to move to the Shomron, I'm going to move to the Jordan Valley because I have a job opportunity, I'm going to move there. people move all the time because of their jobs.
Sure they do.
And that's the point. If we want to change, if we want to create new facts on the ground, we have to do it through economics. The economy is not politics.
Makes sense.
Not speaking at the pulpit, we're speaking with your credit card.
Yep.
And not for charity either.
Right.
We're not looking for charity. We're strong.
Yeah.
We're strong people. No one's doing a fundraising campaign right now to save the field. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll beat it.
Yeah.
We have the power of our resolve. We have the power of innovation, whether if it's growing grapes or doing high tech. It doesn't matter. Our brains are still working the same way. How do you get to point A to Z in the fastest way possible with the greatest product we can? And we're not going to have a relationship with our audience if we're selling things for charity. After a year, they're going to be like, oh, I did my part.
You're right.
I'm done.
Right. That's why the Orange Pages has really got to be a local project right here in Judea and Samaria. So it's not really something that this is more of an information for our audience, our Christian audience, to realize and understand the indomitable Jewish spirit, their connection with the land, their connection with the Torah, as I've written and spoken about, the new generation that is rising up, that has a connection to the land because of Torah. And if there's even another twist to this, Gedaliah, as I've been, with different leaders of Imtirtzu and so forth, we understand that the leadership of some of the BDS movement is actually right here in Israel. Ironically, Jews against Jews, because of why? They have lost their connection to Torah, to the Word of God. And once you lose a connection, then you see Judea and Samaria, well, it doesn't factor anymore. We can get rid of it. We can boycott it. We can do whatever. And they've lost a connection. But you see, here's somebody that has a connection and is doing something for his own people.
And I'll just say this, is that our position here, and it's important that your audience knows, I'm sure you've spoken to so many people. People that are here are about being empowered. It's about being empowered. We're not looking to be reliant on anybody else.
Right.
There are a lot of organizations in the world. The only people reliant on outside help are those who are opposed to being in Judea and Samaria, because they know that there's nobody in Israel, no one local, who's supporting their movement to destroy our Jewish presence here in Judea and Samaria.
Sad but true.
Their money's coming from Europe.
Yeah, sad but true.
And so we have the truth on our side. They have the anti-Semitism. We have the truth on our side. We have the resolve, and we know that we are going to get to A to Z. In fact, there is no Z. We just keep building. There is no end game. We don't sit down on beach chairs in the middle of the field and say we're done.
No,
we're done. It's time to relax now.
It's an eternal covenant, isn't it?
It's an eternal covenant. It's an eternal job. The job is never done because we always have new generations coming up, and the winds are always coming from different sides, and things always change. And we know that once you stop moving, you go backwards.
Exactly right. You can't stop, and it's always forward.
And so, for the Christians out there, what I would recommend is find something that you connect to. Find something that speaks to your heart. It says, I want to be part of this. I want to be part of their story, because their story is also part of my story.
Amen. It is.
And whether it's connecting to a soup kitchen or a political movement or a Bible study group, whatever it is, connect to it and make it part of your daily life, your monthly life. Just make Israel and building part of not something you just do once a year or once every 5 years. You come to Israel, I was here and that, and then you think about memories. Create your memories every single month. Do something.
And that's what we really want to do. We want to connect you with people like Gedaliah, the pioneers, the settlers that are coming back to the land. And if you want to help in a project like this to fix the burned pipes and the trees that have been destroyed, of course that's there. But more importantly, to connect in the spiritual realm with the people of God here, of which we are brothers and sisters with, because we serve the same eternal God. And so thank you for joining us, and thank you for being a part of it. And contact us more, contact Gedaliah if you want to be a part of Israel in your life, in your spiritual day-to-day experience.